A lot of change has come to the Chicago Sky from the end of the last season to the beginning of this season. On today's episode, me and Steve are going to discuss the biggest storylines for the Chicago Sky heading into the 2025 WNBA season. We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. We got Steve-O, myself, Hayes in the building today, discussing the biggest storylines heading into the Chicago Sky season. Steve-O, you want to jump right in? You got anything on your mind?
I mean, shit. Like, it's so many storylines to come with this season. Like, you got the development of our second year sophomores at Angel and Camila. You have the storyline with Ariel Atkins now being a new a person in this team. We also got a whole new coach, a whole new coaching staff. That's a story within itself. Um, this team looks completely different. That's a story within itself. So it's like seven stories in one. But I would say probably the biggest one. I would probably say the coaching staff, because I think that's the biggest overhauling that we had personally. We got a new head coach, new video coordinator, two new assistant coaches, a general scout. We got everything new. So I think that's probably the biggest storyline to come out up until this point, coming into the new season.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, right? And we're going to get into the development of Angel and Camila and where that plays into all of this. But I think the first question, this kind of ties into everything you just mentioned, especially with Tyler Marsh being here as a new head coach, as getting Ariel Atkins. I think, and this is going to be something that develops over the season, because make no mistake about it, Ariel can score, but she's not something that I look at as like necessarily like a scorer. She does a lot more than just that. But with Kennedy Carter leaving this team, her 17.5 points per game, one of the biggest questions that I have coming into this, who's going to have the keys to the offense? That's one of the biggest things. Like, who's the offense going to be built around? Not to say it was just built around Kennedy last year, because I think it was more than just that. But like, on top of kind of identifying what style of offense we're going to play is, who's going to be the go-to player on the offensive side of the ball, or are they going to do it by committee? Which one are you? How are you feeling about this, Steve-O?
I think we kind of going to approach it how we approached it last year. We're going to roll the ball out, see where everybody kind of fits and where it's going to go. And then as the season progresses, you kind of see what sticks. You kind of see the chemistry that builds. You kind of see what works and what don't work with players, staff, and whatnot. So I think at first they'll have a plan, but I don't think they're going to stick to that plan. If there's some substitutes that they can feel that can help and change some things over the time, I think they would do it. Like if you look back in last year, we started off with Marina. Marina starting, and then Dana was the starting point guard.
Dana was the starting point guard to start off the season last year.
Yeah, and then it was clear that we needed to change the tempo, change the pace, and then we started running that. The LA she joined the lineup, and then once that happened, then Kennedy joined the lineup as the starting lineup, and that was our starting lineup for the rest of the year. And yeah, I think that's how we're going to treat it now. We're going to see where it goes. We're going to see who and what fits, what rosters and rotation fits the best, and then and make that choice. I think Tyler will be a little bit more quicker than we was last year, but I think it's going to be somewhat of a similar process.
Yeah, it's gonna be that filling out process. Like you're gonna have Sluty and Ariel Atkins starting as your backcourt to start off, right? I'm guessing probably McKenna only is going to be the starting three, and of course Angel and Carmilla. But you still got a lot of balance you need to figure out outside of that, which is going to get us to the next topic that we're going to have here. But before we get on that, I'm going to ask you this: like, last season Ariel Atkins 14.9 points per game on 44% shooting from the field. Do we see maybe an Ariel Atkins that averages the most points per game in her WNBA career? Because the Sky are going to need somebody to score.
Yeah, it's a possibility, and I think there was times and there was games, especially games against us, where she did have 18, 19, 20 plus points, and she's definitely capable. And but to say is she going to do it, I don't know, because when it comes to Tyler, he just had those people that he likes to work with, and who's to say it's Ariel? Who's to say it's the players that he just add? Hell, he might find an interest in Michaela and try to work on her game because he sees a potential in her. So when it comes to it, like obviously, as of today, yeah, I think she will be that player that probably averaged the most, not only points that she's ever had, most shot attempts, field goals, all that turnovers, because she's gonna. I think she's the whole point is I think Jeff fell in love with her when she played against us. I truly do, because she had a good game every single time she played us.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens there. See what happens. The next storyline heading into that I want to talk about, because I do think this is important. You picked her 11th overall. Where does Haley Van Lith fit into the Sky's rotation? Like, where is she going to be in that pecking order? Is she going to be allowed to be that scorer off the bench? Yeah, of course you don't want to put that weight on her right away, right? You want her to acclimate to the WNBA game. But I think Haley Van Lith and how soon and quick she can look like herself and
Yeah.
adjust to the physical, because one thing that me and you always like to make sure that everybody understands, the physicality in the WNBA is more consistent than the physicality. Like the way that you're seeing NBA players play physical now in the playoffs, that's how it is the entirety of the WNBA season. They don't play about the physicality. And how Haley Van Lith adjusts to that, I think, is going to be really important for how successful she can be in this rookie year. But with Tyler Marsh being here, we know that he's not somebody, he's come from a coaching staff that isn't afraid to let rookies, if they earn it, she's going to have to earn it, but give them an opportunity to shine. So when you look at HVL, where do you think her spot in this is going to be? Do you think is she going to be able to do enough over the course of the season to kind of figure out her path? Or do you think we're looking at maybe year 2 is kind of where she finds it?
I think year 2 is where she finds that where she's kind of gonna find where we want her to be. I think what she's gonna do right now is she's just gonna be the backup behind Sloot, and she's gonna learn. And when she does come in the game, they're just gonna ask her to be Hailey. Play defense, play hard, score how you score, pick and roll within the bigs that we have. Like I said, even though we looking at Angel and Camila and her pick and roll game, but her and Maddie Busbell coming out the bench gonna be a motherfucker too, and she can stretch the floor as well. It's gonna be very similar to what she did with her big down at TCU. So I think she will be more comfortable because they'll allow her to do what she wants to do coming off the bench. I don't think Tyler Marsh will have her coming off the bench in the backup role, have her trying to be a floor general. I think he gonna allow her to be her, learn how to be more of a playmaker within that role. It's a difference between being a floor general and a playmaker. I think she has more playmaker in her upside. So, and once you get to that year 2, that's when she's going to start to figure out what her game is and stepping into that starter role where she's going to be a playmaking scorer.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, me and you've talked about it. Like, what position ends up being the position for her long term? Like, that's something we'll worry about that when we come to it. This first year, though, like she's going to get an opportunity, I think, to really do a little bit of everything. Well, again, she's going to have to earn the opportunity, but when she does, I have no doubt. Like HVL, like it was while we were questioning about the fit, we neither one of us questioned the fact she's a dog. She has that dog mentality. Like, so, like putting her in a position where she has to prove herself, maybe one of the best things for her because she hasn't really been in a situation quite like she's going to have it in the WNBA. And like I said, that physicality. Say what you will about her. I know people look at her because she looks like she's slight. That's a solid motherfucker, bro. She's built like a tank, bro.
I think a lot of people need to go back and watch her tape at Louisville because that's where you see her most physical. She's putting her shoulder into people. She was using her lower center of gravity. She even talked about it. She being a shorter player, she gotta win the low game, and that's very important. Like the stuff that she's already realizing that she need to add to her game and working on. We see in the defensive drill she already working on, and we ain't even in training camp yet. Like the fact the physical game is not what I was never worried about. It's the skill part because I think it's so many skillful guards in the league, and for her to be the guard that she is going to have to come out to be, which is a combo guard, she's going to have to come out in organizations, which is a little bit different versus like in the NBA, you got your Lou Wills, you got your Jordan Clarksons, every now and then you got those players where they just there to score. It's not too many opportunities like that in the W. And if you're gonna be like that, you're damn near the best combo guard in the world because it's only like 5 of them. So that's what I think our hesitation with Hailey. It was never really physical.
Yeah. So we'll see what that season brings. And then you already alluded to this one. the leap jump, whatever you want to call it, that Angel Reese and Kamila Cardoso make is going to be hugely important to the overall success of this team. Defensively, Angel adding a little bit more to her bag offensively is going to be the thing. I think Kamila being more consistent and aggressive. We talked a lot about last year. Kamila faced she was the biggest person on the court more times than not, leading in her whole basketball life until getting to the WNBA. And that's when you're facing most nights, you're facing off somebody who's just as big, just as strong as you. And she adjusted to that well over the course of the season. She got better every single week, month of the season, especially after that injury. And these two ladies, like that, they were the first kind of moves in this rebuild for the Sky. And them coming into the season, how much they've grown in the offseason with the work in, of course, overseas for Kamila, who was killing it over there. Angel Reese with Unrivaled is going to be really important to this season for the Sky.
Yeah, and I think it's most important. Like, I know everybody pay attention to Angel, but I think the biggest jump, and which probably the most important jump, is Kamila. Like, I understand the star power that Angel has, but Kamila was picked first for a reason. And she's picked first because we see her as that franchise player. And at the end of the day, if she does develop and become aggressive like we think she is, like I said, there is just nothing you can do with an aggressive 6'7" mad motherfucker. There's nothing you could do with it. And we already seen she got plenty of bag to work with. She can shoot the outside shot. She got a post fade in there. She got some solid post footwork moves down in a low post. Like, and she can pass as well. It's a lot of other things she can work on. So her taking that big step is going to be the determining factor of the whole team. Because if she has a record-breaking type of season next year, I don't see us not making it. It'd be very hard for us not to make the playoffs.
That's for sure. That's for sure. So are you, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when you look at it, are you expecting Kamila to make the larger leap in year 2 than Angel?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is just because physically, it's just not too much you can do with 6'7", and she's like, we already seen some of the improvements she's already made. If she adds even more to it, she's just gonna become even more unstoppable. Yeah. And let's not even say it. I don't know if you've seen some pictures. She looked like she leaned up too.
She does look like she's everybody does. Angel looks like she's in amazing shape too. But Kamila, because I also think that Kamila, people forget like how quick she can cover ground. I'm not saying she's the fastest going baseline to baseline, but like that quickness she can have on the fast break is definitely something. Because if you have a 6'7" motherfucker running at you like a gazelle, like we know that she can, especially now with how Courtney Vandersloot is going to be able to push the break, and even HVL when she's in the game too, like this is going to be a Sky team with their ability to rebound. They once again have positional rebounding at just about every position relative to what you expect from that position. They're going to be able to get out in transition really well and attack. Then you have players like Kamila and Angel who can also start the break, right? I don't know if they finish it. They're going to get it to their guards, but then also just better passing all around for this team. Also, like where we kind of faltered at last year, where it was basically just Kennedy in transition, I think that's going to change a lot for this as well. Where the hell did Steve-O go? We'll see what happened with Steve-O. Restream's always messing with Steve-O, and I don't know why. It's always messing with Steve-O. It always has messed with Steve-O. But as we're waiting for Steve-O to come back, man, but I think overall, like, it's going to be really fun to watch how these ladies have developed over the course of this since their first season. They're going to have a really important way that they continue to just develop and grow over this season. And they now have a coach in Tyler Marsh as well, who I think is going to have a better system overall. And that's not to have a shot at Spoon at all. No shot at Spoon. I think overall, though, Tyler Marsh is going to have a system that's kind of more balanced than what we had last year. You good, brother?
Yeah. No, you when you weren't talking, you just cut out, so I had to switch over to my phone to hear what you were saying. But it's good now.
But yeah, finish what you were saying. You were talking before it went out, or you were about to say something.
No, I was saying, like, when I was saying something is when it cut. I was like, what just happened? Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, bro. Restream really do be fucking with you, bro. I don't know why Restream don't like you like that.
No, that was first. That's a first. Like, that ain't never happened before. I ain't never seen that shit. It's just like that. First, it's just like it cut the audio for a second. I was like, what the hell?
That's weird. When you look at this roster, who do you think is set up to have the most surprising season? Who do you think could surprise you the most this year?
Damn. I got it's that's hard because there's so many. Like you got, of course, you got Michaela. She can surprise you because, like you always said, she's probably has one of the highest upsides that people don't realize because even though her draft class is weak, she won rookie of the year. So that tells you a lot, regardless. So like if she works on her offensive game even more, she's gonna work herself out of more of a 3-and-D and become a legitimate three threat. And then when you also look at like you can even look at people like Rachel Banham. Like I think with the more shooting that we added on this team, it's going to take less pressure off her to make the shots that she did because at times last year, especially towards the end, we were just looking at her like, you got to make this.
I mean, yeah, we needed her to be the, and that was the concern that we had when we brought in Rachel Banham, because like she's a good 3-point shooter, make no mistake about it, but she isn't the type of shooter you're like, bam, you're our 3-point offense.
Yeah.
So yeah, with better shooting overall, it's definitely going to help her be more consistent, I think, with the Sky team.
Who the fuck said we waving Camila?
Toya knows basketball.
Why would we waive our number one pick?
I don't know, man. People sometimes people
hold on. We want to for bets the even the softest 6'7" I've ever seen in my life bets. Okay. Okay. Another one. I'm gonna say it's gonna be the shooters. I'm picking another shooter, Rebecca. I think Rebecca can have an underrated season, especially because she's 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
A 6'2" shooter with quick release. And like I said, I do think she's a better shooter, if a little bit better shooter than Rachel. I ain't gonna say like a significantly better, but she's a better shooter than her. I think she can have a big season as well. And I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer. And of course, she did have a significant injury, but I don't think the injury is gonna. She just got it up here enough. Will.
Oh yeah, I mean E Will is gonna have an amazing as long as E Will is healthy. Like E Will is gonna play solid on both sides of the ball. Especially now with having a point guard like Sluty back in there who's gonna be able to feed her in the paint. Like E Will is gonna have a very very good season this year, no doubt about it.
Like she literally has no pressure at this point. She just out there teaching at this point.
That's a fact. Like she's just an extension of Coach Tyler Marsh out there. That's all that really is.
Say that shit again, Sauce.
Shout out to Sauce, bro. Like
say that shit again.
That's crazy.
And even then, like regardless of the fact, I think that's crazy. She not even in the league. Like she not terrible. Like she's over there overseas killing.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a super chat from Danny. He says, I honestly think this team has better shooting, and with Angel ability to rebound, all she got to do is kick to a sniper. The Sky will make the playoffs. Hey, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
That's like, it's funny, like looking at like how she played in Unrivaled, because at first, like we said, she wasn't really playing how we thought she should. And we know she was going to struggle anyway a little bit because we all know Angel's definitely a 5-on-5 type of player anyway. She's a team-oriented player. And I kind of seen the team-oriented type of player between the shooters that she had, which was Alexi. But the problem was Alexi wasn't making shit. I think our team gonna make some shit, and that's gonna be the biggest difference.
Nola, we had players that could shoot. We didn't have shooters last year. That's a very very different thing. We have players that can make a three, but we didn't have shooters. That's a very, like, you can't have a team that made 4.8 3-pointers per game and said you had shooters. No, we have players that can shoot a three, but we didn't have shooters like we got now.
Yeah, like Rachel and Rebecca are like surefire, like you're shooting. That's what you here for. And we had to trade for Rebecca.
Yeah. So we'll see what they bring next year, man. I think it's gonna be a fun season to watch, as it is every year. It's gonna be another season of growth watching these ladies play. I'm not letting my excitement become expectations. That's why, if you notice, I haven't said nothing about playoffs or anything, because I'm just gonna say I'm doing the same thing with the Bears. I'm gonna be even lower on the Bulls next season, but I'm waiting to see how the season storyline looks to start off the year before I start getting overly excited. I think we're gonna have a really good team. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a really good, solid team that's gonna give effort on both sides of the ball. I think we're gonna have that. But I want to wait to see how this stuff kind of shakes out before I start having predictions of playoffs and stuff like that. But that's just me safeguarding my own expectations. That's all that is.
Yep. I'm the same thing. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm saying like on paper it's a playoff team. Will it be a playoff team? Don't know. Still gotta get that chemistry right between, like I said, the phases of the team and the coaching staff, because everybody knew.
Yeah. Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. Well, we will still be here. As you guys can tell, we're posting a lot more. You're at least getting one episode a week leading into training camp. Once the season starts, you're getting probably 3-4 episodes a week. But as news drops, we drop. I am probably going to have a video at some point going over all the training camp invites. I want to talk about which ones have the more likely path to make the final team, even though I don't think any have like the surefire path. But we'll get into that, talking about those training camp signings as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us at Chicago Sky Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoSkyCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. We'll see y'all in the next one.